Good morning, everybody. Hey, I'm going to take you guys on a lawn care estimate today. And the reason I find that valuable to you guys is because when you hire somebody to take a look at your property, when you're looking to hire somebody for mowing or mulch or whatever that is, you kind of understand the process, what they're going to be looking for, what will make the prices maybe a little bit more expensive, maybe not as expensive. There's a number of things that go into it. I do like to visit the properties when I can. Ultimately, we do have to measure this property online to figure out how much it's going to cost. But things that you cannot see online would be, and I'll show you here in a minute, obstructions in the ground that we'd have to mow around, hills that we can't take certain mowers on, that we might have to use a smaller mower for. All these things do take into account a longer amount of time to mow the property, and ultimately the more time it takes us to mow, the more expensive it's going to be, whole 9 yards. So this customer requested an estimate for a full everything that we do essentially. So I'm going to take you on that, and let's get to work. So I'm going to flip this camera around if I can. Let's see, I don't think I can do that, but what we're going to look at. So when I see here, I see the stump right here. We're going to have to mow around that stump. Everything else looks pretty good. It looks like this yard really needs to be aerated and overseeded in the fall. We did the leaves here, a lot of more leaves have fallen since then, but back in here we have this slope that's right in here. So we could use a bigger mower on this, but around the corner here, we can use a big walk behind on that too. That wouldn't be a problem. When we look at the mulch beds right in here, we look for, is there anything that we're gonna have to do to clean this bed up? Any weeds we're gonna have to pull, any edges we're gonna have to redo. This bed has no edges. We don't have to create those edges, hand dig them, so that's fine. All we need to do is put down fresh mulch, clean up the beds. There are some perennials that are dead in here. I can tell that a sewer line was replaced here because there's this big divot, so we'll bottom out here a lot. This needs to be filled in a little bit. This edge right here, right in here, this edge does need to be re-edged, needs to be hand edged, and all the way around the side. We probably have in the front 2 yards of mulch here. That's nothing bad, but we need to clean up, blow out the beds because they have a lot of leaves in them. So we probably have about an hour of labor prior to laying that yard of mulch, and right now it is meeting our minimum requirement on pricing. So we can't feasibly go out to yard, we can't send guys out to properties for under a certain amount of money. So we do have a $300 minimum to mulch. Everything else, like you can see right in here, we can't mow this area, but we can use a weed eater and it'll be perfectly fine. There's a lot of moss here, so that tells me that there's either a pH balance, there's a shade issue, or there's a lot of water that sits right there. When we come back to the back, we have to figure out, oh, there's more mulch here that needs to be edged. This probably needs, this stuff, well, it's on a hill, so it'll continuously slide out, so that probably needs real edging in there. Hand digging an edge is probably not going to work there. And it looks like we have some rose bushes in here that, can you see them? Where are they? Come on. It's hard to see them. They're right in here. But anyways, they don't look like they're doing too well. We need to cut those back pretty well. Here's another big thing. You see this fence. Can we get a mower into that fence? Right now, the outlook, no. This is the only gate that he has. There's another gate up there, but it doesn't look like we can get a big mower in this. This is a push mower kind of gate, and there is grass back there. So we would have to push mow that whole backyard. Push mowing does cost a lot more. It takes a lot more time, okay? So since I can't get into that gate because it is locked, I wonder if I can get into the, I don't know if I can get into that other gate either. But it doesn't look very big. We should be able to push mow this in really in no time. So it shouldn't be too bad. He probably push mows it right now himself. So I found, yeah, it's not very big. There is a fire pit there that we'll have to mow around, but everything else is pretty easy. And now another thing, we have this side of his property. Typically property lines, we mark them off with these utility poles. So anything on our customer side of the utility pole, we will estimate. So there's a big burning bush there, and there's a big weed tree there. That burning bush, to trim that burning bush, we're looking about 40 bucks. So trim that. We got this U here. Trimming bushes, we'd probably have like 85 bucks in that or so. These little white pines that are over here, they never really need to be trimmed. Now we do have one other thing that is important. We have ivy, euonymus, purple winter creeper, whatever you want to call it, because it is purple right now. That could be purple winter creeper, I'm not sure. It's all just ivy to me. This stuff is invasive, so this will require to be weed eated probably once a month, and then to keep it from moving out into the grass. So that is the main thing that we have here. So that's what it looks like to go on an estimate. Mainly what we're trying to see is any obstructions, anything that's going to take us a little bit longer than normal is what we see. How much mulch? If there was a lot of mulch, I would hand measure it out to see exactly how much we need, any weeds we need to pull, etc. That's a lawn care estimate with us. Thank you.